Hey, good morning. It's Dr. Kate Walker. I'm so happy to see everybody. And I'm also happy to be here in Galveston, Texas, taking some time with my kiddos and trying to have a girls' weekend, but it's really the middle of the week. So happy Thursday 30. Today I'm all about that treasure trove, that Wonderland that is your website's back office. We've talked a lot about conversion speeches and helping your clients get to know you and make sure that there's a personal human connection. But how does that all happen? And I do these website reviews. Well, how do you incorporate the changes that I suggest? It's in your back office. And I know some folks who, I don't know, maybe they outsource the back office, or they've hired a PR firm or a marketing firm, and that marketing firm is in charge of the content. And then my friends will, meet with the marketing firm, maybe once a quarter to review content, and they pay these folks lots and lots and lots of money. And the problem is, when I make a change, it's on the fly. I mean, I may notice there's a new search term. I may notice that there's some new amazing scheduling software, and I've got to be able to do that quickly. Or maybe I attend a Facebook Live or a webcast or some kind of a seminar myself, and I learned something amazing, and I've got to make the change quickly. If I'm going through a third party, it ain't gonna happen. So, let me state clearly, I do believe in hiring out web design. I think if you're gonna put your money one place, right? You've got your office rent, you've got your used couch, you got your computer. If you're gonna drop some money, drop it on your website, right? So that's the build. But be sure when you get that web designer that they give you access to your back office, because without access to your back office, it's almost like they hold the key to the treasure, right? They're like, yeah, you can't get into the back office without my permission. That doesn't work, right? That means they've got a hold. It's like somebody holding your passwords, right? You would never ask somebody for permission to access your bank account or to come into your house, right? Your website's your house. So in August, we're packing our toolkit with the tools to make an amazing business. One of your most valuable tool is the back office of your website. And I'm going to talk about 3 different ways that this place, this Wonderland that is your back office, is going to make you money and is going to help keep you compliant. 2 things that keep you from getting in trouble and going out of business, right? Is, staying compliant and making money, right? You got to have a profit in order to stay in business. You have to make sure that you can change content on the fly. Folks, we have so many new rules on the horizon. I get emails all the time. Hey, how are you addressing this? How are you addressing that? Well, the answer is I've got access to my back office, right? When COVID hit, first thing I did was I went in and I'm like, okay, how do I make a pop-up so people understand that I'm still in business? I'm just operating via telehealth. So when I look at your websites and I do the reviews, one of the things I look at is, okay, how am I going to access this person? Some of you have a telehealth button, but unfortunately it takes me to a session. Right? You put the button in the wrong place, right? I should have the scheduling button first, then you email me the link so I can access your actual session. So I'm going to talk about that as well, okay? So if you're with me today, I'm so happy you're here. If you're a newbie, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. If you're a newbie, please tell a friend about these Thursday 30s. I give away a lot of free stuff, and this is one of my favorite things to do. I've got a YouTube channel, so if you miss one of these, we try to organize them by topic. My assistant, aka my kiddo, has promised that she'll get all of April and May up in the next couple of weeks. So we're almost caught up through July. And so all of these Thursday 30s are archived for you on my YouTube channel. So before I do another bit of free stuff, of course I have to do my commercials and my shout outs. And my shout outs are more fun, so I'm going to start with that. I've got my cool Sally Jesse Raphael glasses, and those of you who are of a certain age will remember her. So we've got 12 new members looking to take their businesses up to badass. So let's welcome Misty Edwards, Pris Perez, Darlene Drew Johnson, Michelle Brook, Lucid Counseling and Wellness, Sandra Robledo Galon, Usawa Wellness Services, PLLC, Jacqueline Hurtado, Amy Hutchison, Rebecca Ray, Boyd LPC SE, and Lavender Hendricks. Y'all, I am so happy to have you in the Badass Business Group. Now, let's get to work. Right, so what do I do for a living? I sell the 40-hour training to become an LPC and an LMFT supervisor in Texas. It's 40 hours completely online. I was one of the first folks to actually make that happen, but that was after providing it for several years in 39 cohorts. That's my number one business. So if you're ready to become a supervisor, you better click so that you can take my course. If you are a supervisor, run, do not walk, do not pass go. When this is over, go to Texas Supervisor Training closed Facebook page, answer the 3 questions, and we will give you a free directory listing. We will give you information so you can join our monthly consultation groups. It's only $25 to join. 2 hours of 2 CEs, 6 times this year with some amazing speakers. If you're a supervisor and you're not in my consultation group, I just got to ask you why. Why not? You got to get over there. So get to the Texas Supervisor Training Group. Lavender, hey, my pleasure. I'm glad you're here. So with you being a supervisor and the rule changes, it just makes sense. You got to be with a group of your peers so we can all hold each other accountable. Oh gosh, I almost forgot to mention, did you know that in July I had free rooms available so we could talk about stuff? Now the rooms only lasted an hour. It was an experiment. I'd never used messenger rooms before. It worked okay. I'm offering a 2-hour badass business meeting, 2 CEs, 2 ethics CEs. All you got to do is click the link in the events tab. I think, let me do this right. I'm going to point. It's over here. When you click the events tab, it's going to happen September 4th. It's 2 hours, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm probably not going to record it because I want you to feel safe to ask questions. Y'all, it's only $50. $50 for 2 CEs. It's a small group. We can ask questions, ask anything related to business. It could be about the new executive council. It could be how to do a conversion speech. It could be about what we're talking about today with our back office treasure trove. But it's 2 hours, 2 CEs, 2 ethics CEs with me and 4 of your closest friends. We have to have 4 people for the class to make. So far we have 1 person registered. We need more. So if you replied maybe or going, it's time to pull the trigger and make the purchase so we can make sure the class makes for everybody. All right, so let's check out websites. It's my favorite thing. If you would like me to review your website, please post a link to your website below in the comments. Don't send me a message in Messenger. Y'all, I don't see those. Sometimes, they kind of float past me and there's so many and I miss them. So you can always send an email to kwtraining@gmail.com. That's kwtraining@gmail.com, and we'll post that below as well. And I'm happy to review your website, or just stick the website link in the comments below. I usually try to do 2 each week. So this week I'm looking at Becoming You Counseling and Trauma Services PLLC. The website is bycts.org. I love that. It's very, very simple. And when I click on it, I get this amazing, gorgeous headshot. You guys know I'm a sucker for a fabulous headshot. That's one of the first ways your potential clients are going to relate to you and respond to you. Paying to get a fabulous headshot done is money well spent, right? Because they are going to want to connect with you. So I notice in the bottom right corner it says let's chat. I didn't test that, but I'm really hoping that if I click that button I could chat with somebody, a real person, because I like to have, you know me, in my first eye gaze, I want to see your phone number, or I want to see a link so I can schedule a 10-minute consultation. So I do not see a phone number in my first eye gaze. So as I scroll, I see Dr. Ashley Ward telling me about herself, and she keeps it short and sweet. I love that. And I keep scrolling. I've got some nice giant links so I can find out about, actually, you know what? I'm clicking. Actually, these aren't links. I'd really love these to be links to your services, because I know when I go to the top to your navigation bar, I can click services and it takes me here, but you got me, now help me schedule, right? You got me where you want me. Give me a big old button so I can schedule a 10-minute consultation or schedule a counseling session, right? So when I do go up to the top and click contact, I scroll down to the bottom and you give me a form. And, well, you give me a phone number. Yes, thank you. So a form, I don't like so much, right? Because I know as the person on the other end of the keyboard, and I'm going to be trying to book an appointment with you, a form is going to make me think, oh, it's going to take her some time to get back to me. Phone number, much better. If I leave a message, I hope your message says you'll get back to me within 24 hours, but y'all know my favorite thing, and that is a 10-minute consultation with your fabulous scheduling software. Y'all, I know it's really noisy out here, so I hope I've got my key people. Let me know if you cannot hear me or the noise is too loud. All right, so my second website. So all in all, love this website. The colors are gorgeous. The icons, that's a name for the pictures that you use to describe your services. That's going to help me connect with you, the choice of your icon, right? So she's got some beautiful colors, some beautiful icons, really just a gorgeous website. Ashley, you did a super job. So next is my buddy Jennifer Kane with Willow Counseling Services. Love that right off the bat, I've got an image that moves. It's so cool. I love it when people have that image that's alive, right? So she has a willow tree and the colors are beautiful. She has her COVID notice. So that's one of the things right now that's so important, because clients don't understand what you're doing, right? Because some of them, they're going to live doctor appointments and they're like, well, wait a second, I wonder if therapy is the same way. So it's so important as you're building your website to have the COVID notice. Let people know what you're doing, how you're conducting services. So good job, Jennifer, you got that in there. I love that you've got the 10-minute phone consultation. It's a nice blue button, yay. Now here's my complaint. I don't have a way to contact you within my first eye gaze. Now, since you have the blue button though, that's points, right? Because even though I had to scroll a little bit, I'm gonna click schedule a call. And that makes me happy already, because I'm going to schedule a call. I know that I'm not just leaving a message. And I really like this scheduling software. I've seen it a couple of times. Would you put in the comments what the scheduling software is? Because it looks really familiar. There's one person for me to choose. I click that. So the service I'm going to schedule is going to be the free phone consultation. I see a calendar. So it looks like I've got to scroll a little bit. That's okay. Okay, I see my times. Perfect. Nice. So as the person on the other end of the keyboard, I'm able to schedule the 10-minute phone consultation. I see the services that are available on your homepage, and you didn't click me away from your website, right? You made it open a new window. So I've got a lot of things to choose from. Great icons, very clear about what I can check. Love your website. Only improvement, if you could do it, would be to get that blue button just within my first eye gaze. But all in all, beautiful, great website. All right. Oh, Jennifer says it's Theranest. So y'all Google that. That might be a great thing to add to your website. All right, so let's talk about the back office. I may have to go get some water. Hope I didn't swallow a bug. All right, so what's in your back office? I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see what I'm talking about when I say back office. So I'm going to put it into the dashboard view. All right, so here I go. All right, so if you're watching this video later, I want you to go back and look at the column where you could see everything that's in my back office. Let me tell you why this is so important, right? One of the things I mentioned a moment ago is the COVID notice. Well, that comes because I have an integration. It's called a plugin that integrates with MailChimp. And so I was able to go into MailChimp. Well, guess what? I figured out that wasn't going to work. So I had to go to a plugin right? I have to know where my plugins are. I have to look for pop-up, right? And then I have to add it, make sure it's activated, make sure it has the content that I want. And now when my customers, when my potential clients and my working clients come, the first thing they see when they go to achievebalance.org is the pop-up. Now the next thing I was able to do in my back office is configure a HIPAA compliant way for my clients and potential clients to sign with their finger on their trackpad that they had understood and read my confidentiality statement, my service agreement, my consent for treatment. It also allowed me to gather some demographic information. Now what I used was something called gravity forms, and that integrated with something called CodeMonkey. And so those two things together operated to allow me to create a HIPAA compliant form and pay one time. Now there were lots of things that allowed me to do subscription services, but I'm super frugal. I like to get the most for my money. So I made sure it was something that I could pay for one time, one low price. It allowed me to have an unlimited number of forms. People fill that out. It is HIPAA compliant. They sign something called, remember, it's called a BAA, a Business Associate Agreement, so that my clients, when I do telehealth, I send them an email. Now, how does that email work? Well, that's because in my software, in my back office, I have integrated Full Slate. Full Slate allows me to send emails through my system, through the back office, to my clients, right? So the first email says, thanks for booking an appointment. And this is, of course, after my 10-minute consultation. You want to know more about the 10-minute consultation? Go back and look at the video. You can scroll. You can go over here and look at videos, or you can go to my YouTube channel so you can see what a 10-minute consultation looks and sounds like. So once they become a client for their first session, I'm going to send them 2 emails through my back office system that's connected to Full Slate. One is going to be a confirmation of their appointment. The second one is going to be a new client specific email directing them back to my website so they can read the PHI, the protected health information. They can read about my cancellation policy, what to do in case of an emergency, and they can sign with their finger that they've read that. Everyday folk, we don't get to access that. That is hidden from search engines. It's something through my back office I created so only clients with that link can access it, right? And that link, where does it come from? It comes from their welcome email. Where does the welcome email come from? It comes when they become a client, which is after my 10-minute consultation, right? So you see the progression there, why the back office is so important, right? In other businesses, they call it a sales funnel. So your website captures their attention. They click the Schedule Now button to schedule a 10-minute consultation. You talk to them, you make sure the services are a good fit. You book the first appointment. The system, the scheduling system, will initiate and send out the confirmation email. You send out an additional email that directs them back to your website where you have set up in your back office the service agreement, the consent for treatment, gravity forms to collect the demographic information, and they sign with their finger. You may be like Jennifer and use something called, there are lots of different software companies out there, Theranos, Simple Practice, things that you can integrate into your back office so folks can sign when they become an established client. But if you're not familiar with your back office, it's going to be hard to integrate that. I mentioned earlier integrating MailChimp. Now here's the deal. MailChimp is not going to sign a BAA with you, all right? It's not a HIPAA compliant platform. And if you're holding client PHI in something like a MailChimp, right, that may not be okay. So you need to find something where you can hold on to your client, if that's what you're doing, if you're using email. This Thursday 30 is not really about that. Maybe I'll do one of those too if you consider email to be a good tool to build your client base. I don't use email, so I'm not sending out mass emails. I allow my scheduling software to do that for me. All right, some other back office treasure troves. When you set up your content, so when I go through your website and I click service, right? And I'm scrolling down and I'm looking at all the words that you use to describe the services you provide. I better see some keyword rich descriptions. That's search engine optimization, SEO. How do you find out if it's keyword rich? Well, you got to do some Googling, right? When you put in keywords like counseling, your town, what pops up? When you go to Google and say, help me optimize my website, it has tools. Google has Google Search Console. It allows you to claim your business. It allows you to actually embed those things into the back office of your website. So Google is constantly helping you optimize and pick good keywords. So let's say you discover a keyword or you decide to offer a new service. If you're not able to access your back office and change that content, right, that's a problem. Did you know that your pictures, your photos on your website that can actually have alt text, ALTTEXT, that Google reads as text, and you can make that keyword rich as well. Remember, the more keywords, the more search terms you can put into your content, the higher you're going to be in your search terms. The higher you're going to be in your Google listings, right? Because that's all we're going for here. We want to be number one. You want to be number one. When somebody searches for counseling, your town, your specialty, you want your name to come first. Now, granted, Psychology Today is probably going to be first because they pay a lot of money for that first place, and that's why we are in their little directory, right? We're paying our $30 a month to be listed in Psychology Today because they're paying the big bucks to get listed first. Good on them. You want to be listed right after Psychology Today, all right? So we've got two things, actually three things. 3 tools that you can only access if you dare to go into your back office, all right? Gravity Forms, the HIPAA compliant code so that you can have the form integrated with your back office, or you use something like Simple Practice that allows you to integrate with your back office, right? We've got scheduling software that you must integrate with your back office. Again, you can be sort of like me and I patchwork things together, or you can pick something that's a little more robust like a Simple Practice. And I'm not advocating for Simple Practice. That's just the one that was put down here. I'm sorry, Theranest was put down here. So any of those can integrate with your back office as well. We also have email. If you consider email to be one of the main tools for your practice, you can integrate that into your back office. But number one tool that if you can't access your back office, you are losing out. If you're paying someone to do this for you, and you guys know me, half the reason I know this stuff is because of the mistakes that I've made. I used to pay someone hundreds of dollars to take my blogs and rework them for keyword searches, right? And all I ended up with was a bunch of blogs with really, really bad grammar, right? In fact, if you go to my early blogs, they're kind of embarrassing, right? Because they were just doing random Google search terms. I hired out a job I should have been doing myself, right? So take the time, figure out the content that you want to put in, make sure that it's keyword rich. You don't know how to do that? Google how to make my website keyword rich. Google's obviously going to help you with this because that's how they make money, right? It's free for you, money for them. Get into your back office. If you don't have access to your back office when this ends today, I want you on the phone with your web designer and you demand to get back office privileges. I don't want any of my badasses locked out of their house, all right? This is your house. That website is your house. It's how you make money, right? So you got to think on your feet. You got to be able to change with the times, change with the pandemic. All right, 9:55, I'm out of time. Don't forget the Badass Business Meeting is happening. Don't just think about it. Don't just give me a maybe. Tell me you're going. Click now. Join us September 4th, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. All right, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Wake up a little early. Be there. 2 hours, 2 CEs, 2 ethics CEs, and it's only $50. This is Dr. Kate Walker. Happy Thursday. I'm going to go enjoy the beach. Have a good day.